Hey everyone, how are you? Hope you're doing amazing. I am just about to pick my kids up from the bus. I just woke up. I think it's I woke up not too long ago. It's like 4 p.m. I worked last night. I just got to thinking, you know, that I was just thinking about life, about how is it, and I was listening to something somebody was saying that they wish they had betted on themselves. And that got me thinking, why do we not bet on ourselves? Right? And this person that I was listening to was talking about how they work a 9 to 5 and they've lost their creativity. And if you remember, there's a video I made where I talked about a 9 to 5 job, and I referenced that it's as if I referenced it because I felt it, but I'm realizing that a lot of people feel the same way. But when I was in my 9 to 5, when I used to work 9 to 5, I remember I bet all on the job. Like, I gave my all, my best work. I gave it nine to 5. And even when I came home, I brought leftovers home, not because I meant to bring leftovers home, but because I was too tired. It's like I used my brain all day. And by the time I got home, I was so exhausted. So with that, I remember I had no creative outlet, no creative space, no creative thought. I would just get home, sit on the couch, and just all I could do was just blink and barely put food on the table, barely could cook the dinner. I would pre-cook the dinner half the time. I just had enough energy to warm it up, make sure the kids are all set, and then go right to bed. And I did this 5 days a week. Then there was a time I added a second job, and I did this 6 days a week. So when I was listening to what this person was saying, they said they felt like they lost their creativity. And I'm like, that's exactly what I was saying. And I was trying to express, and I expressed on the video that I made about how the 9 to 5, I lost my creativity, because now I find that I have creative ideas that just come left, right, and center. And I literally have to create a parking lot of notes to say, this is a future plan I want to do. It's here. I know how to do it. I know how I'm going to execute it, but I can't do it now. I also lately, just yesterday, because I can sew, I did like fashion and designing in high school in Africa. And I remember during the time that the years I worked at 9 to 5, I remember buying a sewing machine, buying cloth, because I was like, I want to sew, right? I was like, it relaxes me when I make garments, and I could just envision what I want and I make it and I wear it. And I was like, I need to try to get back into that. During the time I was working at 9 to 5, I bought a sewing machine that I never used. I remember even cutting the stuff out that I wanted to make, but being too tired to even go with that creative space. And I remember I could not even envision the stuff I wanted to make. I knew I wanted to make it, and I knew I could make it, and I knew it was in me, but I just couldn't let it out during that time. So what ended up happening is I have a lot of cloth, like even from Africa. Everywhere I go, I buy cloth, but I never made anything with it. Now, fast forward to now. I just cleaned out my garage the other day. That's another thing when I worked my 9 to 5, and I'm not saying do not work a 9 to 5, because some people, that may be your thing and you love that. I am just sharing my journey, my experience, and where I am now, because I left my 9 to 5 and took a position cut. I went back to having no title, but I traded that for my life, and I traded that to bet on myself, right? So with that, I just put the creativity of fabric and sewing and making stuff away. So fast forward to now, I cleaned my garage the other day, and while cleaning my garage, I find there's a bonnet, because I always have a hard time finding the perfect bonnet. And I remember the last time that when I cleaned my garage, I found a bonnet I started to make, but I never finished making. So I took it out. I took it out of the garage the other day without a plan. But do you know, after I took it out of the garage, I started working on that bonnet and finished it. And here's the final product. And I actually handmade it because I don't have a sewing machine anymore. But I handmade it, and it is reversible, right? So when I get a sewing machine, I'll be able to, this is it. I don't know if you can see it. A whole bonnet. Now, made it, finished it, and I actually now wear it. So, and it didn't take me long. I saw the bonnet just a few days ago. I was able to envision how I was going to finish it, and I did it. I also saw, I was driving the other day, and I literally could see a vision of how I literally saw a vision of how I would sew a jacket and what the pattern would look like on paper. Now, this is stuff I've been battling because at the height of my 9-to-5, I wanted an escape. I was like, what skills do I have? And I remember putting that these are some of the skills that I have. And whether it's to do it professionally or just to do it as an outlet for creativity, I remember putting it down, but I remember every time I tried to revisit that creative space, there was a block. But now that my mind I work, but the hours that I work give me enough time to decompress and give my mind enough time to just shake off work and plug into a different energy, kind of like a creative energy. So what I'm saying is, for those that are in 9-to-5s and are thinking about what's next, I think one of the things that you have to also consider is, are you trading yourself for your job? Now, I don't know what it is, because each person knows what they're considering doing, right? I don't know what else you're considering doing, whether it's going back to school. I'm actually going back to school right now. I'm going back to school for my nurse practitioner, which will also give me hours, like work hours that I could work hours that I want, with that. And I can work virtually depending on what type of specialty I am. But as you're making your decision whether to stay on your 9-to-5 and what you're doing with your 9-to-5, I invite you to consider that, are you trading? Are you giving up of yourself and giving it all to the job? Are you trading yourself for the job? Are you giving giving your best shot, your 3-point shot, giving your touchdown, right? Or your spike. I'm a volleyball person. Giving the spike. Are you giving it to your 9-to-5 and leaving 0 by the time you come home? Now, I'm 43. I'm glad that I realized early on that I did not want to do that. So I've made changes. And now, instead of just having a job and a profession, I have a job, I have a profession, but I have an opportunity, because I'm not locked down Monday to Friday. I have the opportunity to go back to school. I have the opportunity to open a business. I have the opportunity to be more active on YouTube. I have the opportunity to do more dynamic things. I have the opportunity to be a better parent too, right? Because of that one decision. So I just thought I would just share that, because it really resonated with me, because I've been having a hard time understanding why did I have 0 creativity? I am serious. I even thought that I needed medication because I couldn't, I was foggy. I was like, do I need to see a doctor? Do I need to, am I depressed? And I seriously considered that I was depressed, went to see the doctor, found out that it wasn't depression, right? But at the end of it all, it was just that the demands and the hours of being on the 9-to-5 for me, and that's my story, it may not be your story, the demands of it just left my mind paralyzed and just sucked everything out of me, that I could not live my best life, that I could not express myself, that my creative, and I'm a creative person. I'm an author, right? I'm a creative person. Like, creativity is my thing. That's my jam. And that was shut down. So my hope is you found some value in this, in my to this video, that you found value. But I want to repeat that this message is for those that are in a 9-to-5 and you're having an issue with your creativity and you're trying to find out, why am I having an issue with my creativity? It's kind of like giving you a little bit of an answer from a person that worked a 9-to-5 and that experienced the same thing and then left that 9-to-5, and now I'm experiencing the other side of what I knew I was missing. So my hope is you found some value. Have an amazing rest of your day, and catch you later.